Taylor Swift launched the highest-grossing concert tour of all time, over 149 shows in 21 countries, and more than $2 billion in ticket sales. She wasn't just the biggest artist in music. She was arguably the most famous person on Earth, but getting here nearly destroyed her. This is the story of a woman who was publicly humiliated, mass-shamed by millions, stripped of her life's work, and told her career was over more than once, and every single time, she came back bigger. Taylor Allison Swift released her debut album when she was 16 years old, a country girl from Pennsylvania who moved to Nashville with a dream. By 2009, she was crossing over into mainstream pop and winning awards that most artists twice her age had not touched. She was called America's Sweetheart, the girl next door. On September 13th, 2009, Taylor Swift arrived at the MTV Video Music Awards as a 19-year-old who had just beaten Beyoncé for Best Female Video. It should have been the biggest night of her young career. Instead, it became a moment that would define the next decade of her life. As Taylor began her acceptance speech, Kanye West walked onto the stage, took the microphone from her hand, and told the world that Beyoncé should have won. She was 19 years old. It was her first VMA. Her moment was taken. In the aftermath, the backlash against Kanye was swift and severe. Even President Obama called him a jackass. But for Taylor, the damage was deeper than anyone realized. She later admitted she thought the boos from the crowd were aimed at her. It was not until later that evening, when Beyoncé herself invited Taylor back on stage to finish her speech, that she got a small piece of that moment back. Taylor would go on to write a song about the incident, not one of anger, but of forgiveness. She performed it at the 2010 VMAs. She was trying to move on, but the world would not let her. By 2015, it seemed like the feud was over. Taylor and Kanye had publicly reconciled. She presented him with the prestigious Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs, a full-circle moment. Behind the scenes, Taylor later said reconnecting with Kanye felt like healing a wound from when she was 19. She wanted his respect. She thought she finally had it. She was wrong. In February 2016, Kanye West released a song called Famous, containing lyrics that claimed he made Taylor Swift famous, along with other deeply offensive lines about her. Taylor's team said she never approved the song. Kanye's camp said she did. Then, in July 2016, Kim Kardashian entered the ring. She released edited clips of a recorded phone call between Taylor and Kanye on Snapchat, clips that seemed to show Taylor approving the lyrics. The internet turned on Taylor Swift overnight. Millions of people flooded her social media with snake emojis. The phrase, "Taylor Swift is over," trended worldwide. Celebrities piled on. The narrative was clear. Taylor was a liar. Taylor was manipulative. Taylor was cancelled. Years later, the full, unedited phone call leaked, and it showed that Kim's clips had been selectively edited. Taylor had never approved the most offensive lyrics. She had been telling the truth the entire time. But by then, the damage was done. Taylor Swift vanished. For nearly a year, she disappeared from public life entirely. No social media, no interviews, no appearances. She moved to a foreign country. She stopped answering phone calls. She pushed away most of the people in her life because she couldn't trust anyone anymore. She later told Vogue that a mass public shaming, with millions of people saying you are cancelled, is a very isolating experience. She told Rolling Stone that it took her to a psychological place she had never been before. Then, in August 2017, Taylor wiped every post from her social media accounts. For days, all that appeared were cryptic videos of a snake. Then came the album Reputation. Instead of running from the snake imagery that had been used to bully her, Taylor reclaimed it. She leaned into the villain narrative the world had given her. The lead single was a direct response to years of public humiliation, complete with references to Kim, Kanye, and the phone call that nearly ended her career. Reputation debuted at number 1. The tour that followed featured a 63-foot inflatable snake she named Karin. Taylor had taken the weapon used against her and turned it into her armor, but the controversies did not stop there. In 2013, a radio disc jockey groped Taylor Swift during a meet and greet photo. Taylor reported the incident. The disc jockey was fired. He then sued Taylor for $3 million, claiming she had gotten him wrongfully terminated. Taylor countersued for a symbolic $1. In August 2017, Taylor took the stand. She was direct, unflinching, and refused to be shamed. The jury sided with Taylor, and she was awarded her symbolic $1. It was a small verdict, but an enormous moment. Taylor had stood up in a courtroom and refused to let someone rewrite what happened to her. It became one of the earliest and most prominent victories of the Me Too era. Then came the fight over her music itself. On June 30th, 2019, Taylor Swift learned that the master recordings of her first 6 albums, the music she had been writing since she was a teenager, had been sold to Scooter Braun. Braun was a music manager whose clients included Justin Bieber and, at times, Kanye West. Taylor said she had been pleading for years to own her work. Instead, it was sold to a man she accused of years of bullying. In a post that shook the music industry, Taylor wrote that Braun had stripped her of her life's work, and that she was not given an opportunity to buy it. She linked the sale directly to the Kanye feud, accusing Braun of using his clients to bully her. Her former label boss, Scott Borchetta, fired back publicly, claiming Taylor had been offered a chance to buy her masters. Taylor's attorney disputed that claim. Then Braun's team demanded that Taylor sign a non-disclosure agreement, one that would prevent her from ever speaking negatively about Braun again, before she could even look at the financial records. Her legal team called it unprecedented. Taylor refused. So Taylor Swift did something no artist had ever done at this scale. She decided to re-record her entire catalogue, all 6 albums, from scratch. Starting in April 2021, she began releasing meticulously re-recorded versions of her old albums, each one stamped with Taylor's version. The strategy was devastatingly effective. Every stream of the new versions took money and cultural relevance away from the originals. Fans rallied behind her. Radio stations replaced the old recordings with the new ones. iHeartRadio, the largest radio network in America, switched their entire catalog to Taylor's versions. By the time 1989 Taylor's version dropped in October 2023, it had outperformed the original album's first week sales 9 years later. Taylor did not just survive losing her masters, she made them worthless. And then, in May 2025, Taylor announced she had bought them all back. Every master, every music video, every piece of album art. Everything. She wrote that she had been bursting into tears of joy ever since she found out it was really happening. But before that final victory, there was one more battle. On November 1st, 2022, Taylor announced the Eras Tour, her first tour in 5 years. More than 3.5 million people registered for Ticketmaster's pre-sale. It was the largest registration in the company's history. When the sale went live on November 15th, Ticketmaster's website collapsed within an hour. Millions of fans were locked out, stuck in frozen queues, logged out mid-purchase, or sent to wait lists with no explanation. The next day, Ticketmaster cancelled the general public sale entirely. The fallout was extraordinary. Fans compared the experience to the Hunger Games. Class action lawsuits were filed. State attorneys general opened investigations. U.S. senators quoted Taylor Swift lyrics during congressional hearings on antitrust violations. Taylor released a statement saying she was pissed. She said she had asked Ticketmaster multiple times if they could handle the demand, and was told they could. She called it excruciating to watch mistakes happen with no recourse. The controversy reignited a national debate about Ticketmaster and Live Nation's monopoly over the live events industry. The Department of Justice eventually filed an antitrust lawsuit. And Taylor? She added more dates. The Eras Tour grew to 149 shows across 21 countries and became the highest-grossing concert tour in history. The Eras Tour was not just a concert. It was a cultural event that lasted nearly 2 years and touched every corner of the globe. Each show was over 3 hours long, spanning Taylor's entire career, from her country debut to her most recent album. Every era represented. Every controversy survived. Every comeback on display. In December 2023, Time magazine named Taylor Swift their Person of the Year. She reflected on the 2 moments that defined her career, the Kanye feud and the Masters dispute. Both, she said, nearly broke her, and both ultimately made her unstoppable. Taylor Swift has won 14 Grammy Awards. She has sold hundreds of millions of records. She turned a career-ending cancellation into a #1 album. She turned the theft of her masters into a movement that changed the music industry. She turned a broken ticketing system into a congressional hearing. Every time the world tried to write her ending, she wrote a new chapter. The real story of Taylor Swift isn't about who the world said she was. It's about the fact that no matter how many times they tried to tear her down, she was always the one holding the pen. In May 2025, Taylor Swift officially purchased her master recordings. She now owns every piece of music she has ever made.